Okay. Hey, it's your host, Karthik fucking R, and I'm here to help you towards those limiting beliefs and build a life that's stronger and more fulfilling than ever before. So, today we're going to do things a little different, and today I am thrilled to be joined by a fellow fitness enthusiast. He's got wrist, he's got fit, and he's ready to share his insights on how to cut through the bullshit and harness that early momentum and create lasting success. So, we've got Matt. Welcome, Matt, to the Dragon's Den. And was that cool? So, welcome, a very welcome to you. And would you tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey? How you doing?
Of course. My name is Matthew. I'm 18 and I live in Poland. And I started lifting when I was 15 back in 2021. But I
Whoa.
had previous experience working out at home, like pretty sure everybody had. But not
Mhm.
those like ab routines, like 5 minutes in bed. That's the bullshit they try to feed you. But like actual, picking a dumbbells and putting the work in.
Oh, like
And
totally. Yeah.
yeah, you could say I have 3 years of experience around that,
Mhm.
and I really
Mhm.
like inspiring my friends to join the journey with me and inspire others.
Oh, that's amazing. So, how did you discover your passion for fitness and that too when you were like 15? Who introduced that to you, or did you just stumble upon that by yourself, or walk us through it?
Yeah, it wasn't actually anybody that put me on that. It was I discovered it myself. I used to be like a very very lazy guy, just play video games and maybe listen to some music. But
Mm-hmm.
eventually, like scrolling through those social media, I saw those like very good looking guys with the hype music and the motivational quotes, and it spoke to me like on a personal level, like maybe it's time to change actually.
Yeah.
And it
Okay.
wasn't like I hated sport. I really liked it. I like basketball very much. Like I like to
Mm-hmm.
move, I like to run, I like to like be active. So it wasn't that
Mm-hmm.
hard to transition from that. And yeah,
Okay.
eventually I could get into a gym and start working on myself, and I've been loving it ever since.
Yeah, that's just great. I just wish I was in the gym when I was like 15, 14. I mean, you should have seen me when I was 15. I was literally disgusting. I was fat, I was a nerd. I had like a what is it, the porcupine haircut with hairs literally standing on top of my head. Yeah, that was me. So yeah, good for you, Matt. I'm so proud of you. And I'm so thrilled to have you here. So like I said, I've been following your work for a while, and we've been in touch for a long while. And you are real inspiration for anyone looking to get fit and have some fun while doing it. So, now for listeners who might be wondering what the hell we're going to talk about. So today we're going to be starting with a topic that's near and dear to my heart, newbie gains. So, uh, and how that principle of progress, of newbie progress, the first progress that you see can apply to your business, your personal life, and literally any damn thing that you set your mind to. But first, let's get back to basics. So, Matt, could you break down for us what exactly newbie gains are in the fitness world?
Of course, newbie gains is where you're first like starting to exercise, and your muscles have never really been worked before, so they're just being
Hmm.
used to the new resistance and the new like effort you have to put in. Because normally when you're walking, like that's not very hard to do, right?
Yeah,
But when you have like 60 kilograms on your back, like that's when it gets difficult to walk, right?
yeah,
And
totally.
it's that early realization of your body that hey, this is difficult. We need to put on size for that, to move with that, and to work with that, right?
Yeah.
And some people have it in the beginning. Most people do, but some people
Hmm.
only have that spike in the future. Of course, everybody is different, right? But
Yeah.
when newbie gains mostly happen in the beginning, some people have that big like effort and muscle building spike in their future, like couple of years in, maybe couple months. It's not always in
Hmm.
the beginning, but yeah, you will definitely have a phase when it's more like it requires less effort to put on more muscle than usual.
Okay, so when you like literally start working out, you're literally just stepping into the gym, and the first things, the first gains that you see in your body, so they're the ones, right? So, and may I ask why they're why you make the most gains when you're just starting out? So, because I never understood that, and I was in my defense, I was messing workouts up. I was not performing the like proper form, and I didn't have the base knowledge. But if someone did everything right, and why do they gain the most when they're just starting out?
Because your
Because you're
body
like,
never worked like that. It never had to do it, you know. You were used to like being yourself, and
hmm,
you didn't. The most weight you had to carry was your backpack to school, right? So
yeah,
compare that to like the hundreds of kilograms that you have to lift normally.
hmm,
Obviously your body is gonna be like pretty shocked with what you get going on, and it's gonna force you like, hey, like we really need this, like we need to put on more.
hmm. Okay. Okay, so it's like this sudden introduction of resistance, this extra resistance, it makes your body to adapt, like, in a very short period of time. So it just, got to develop the strength for that. And the muscle gain is just a result of that. Am I getting that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Okay, got it. So, yeah, so I was actually, personally, I was not even lifting weights. When I first started, I just, hit the cardio. I just stepped on the elliptical. And then, yeah, so I was not obviously gaining anything, and I was not obviously losing fat either. But it's just when I actually picked up, a barbell or dumbbell or, adapted strength training, that my muscles like literally woke up and said, hey, we have finally got something to work with. We're actually, doing something, gaining something. So, and why, my question to you is, um, my newbie gain, it came out like pretty late. So if someone starts weight training first, would they be able to gain muscle, faster rather than, picking up cardio and then I will just, switching back or messing things up like me? I'm sorry, and yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, well, cardio isn't much resistance in the first place. You will
Mm-hmm,
definitely build like endurance and stamina, but you
mm-hmm.
won't build much size doing cardio. If anything, you will like put yourself in a deficit and like cut
Yeah.
down a little. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's not gonna lead to muscle loss like most people think. Like cardio kills gains. That's absolutely not true.
Yeah.
But if you eat like lots of protein, like the cardio is great, but it won't get you like really big muscles. You need
Yeah.
the weight training and resistance training for that.
Mm-hmm. Got it. So that's just, non-negotiable, I guess, for gain. So amazing. And so how can entrepreneurs, capitalize on early wins in fitness? So because like, entrepreneurs these days are like super busy. So especially when you're starting out like solo, so it's like super busy and they've got no time. So what are the ways in which, entrepreneurs can exploit these early wins in fitness? And what are the common, pitfalls to avoid, to stay away from? You got any tips for that?
Well, certainly when you're starting out as an entrepreneur in the fitness field, I'm guessing you're
Mm-hmm.
very like knowledgeable on your own business things. So you really study how bodybuilding works before you go into it because that's just a smart thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't get caught up in the like thinking but not doing chain. You have to actually put yourself out there and do it.
Yeah.
And when you put all those effective information into life and actually work like that, you can see some
Mm-hmm.
really great results early on, and that can help you like prove to yourself that you can do it. Like you have the
Yeah.
knowledge, you have the determination, and you can do it. So it helps you break that mental barrier. Like it's a new thing for you, but you're
Mm-hmm.
very approaching it like smart, and you're really like smart about it. So
Yeah.
you can really shatter the mental barrier that comes with it, because lots of people actually get scared away. Like they think their progress
Mm-hmm.
comes fast, but it takes months or years to have noticeable change. And they
Totally. Yeah.
they are fed with like basically spoon fed with these fake like picture posts that this physique took
Yeah.
me 1 year or 2 years, and it's like a really shredded guy, but that's just not realistic for most people. And unless you try it
Oh,
yourself, you won't know what your body can do in 1 year or 2 years. So don't
oh my
give up
gosh,
if you don't see
yes.
the same results.
Yes.
Actually reach that point, and then you can realize like how much gifted that guy can be than you, because everybody is different.
Yeah, everyone's different. So I don't think a lot of people, accept that. So they set like unrealistic goals and saying that, okay, I gotta, get $1 million in like 1 year. I have to get shredded by summer. Yeah, see, that's not gonna cut it. So maybe a realistic goal, like you said, like how do I put it? Maybe like bench press my body weight by by November or by in 6 months. But that's the kind of goal that gets results. You have to be realistic. And the same way it's a drive to do more, reach more, and it's what that you keep the point, the thing that you keep challenging yourself is what really drives you, right? So and one can keep challenging themselves. So what happens if someone hits, like, say, a plateau, a flat line, and they're not making any gains, and they lose all the will to live or lose all the will to train? So how do you get past that?
Well, that's what you mentioned about progressing. Like you have to challenge yourself more and more with if you try to set yourself like an income goal, like you have to close this much sales before the end of the year, like either
Yeah.
just personally or you need to like actually pay something off. So in
Hmm.
the gym, how you do it is that you rack up the weight you're lifting and the intensity, right, and the volume. So
Yeah.
that's how you challenge yourself outside of the business, but in the gym actually, you need to
Hmm.
like put on more, lift heavier, and lift more intensely.
Yeah.
That's how you
So
break
just.
plateaus. And
Hmm.
as time goes on, your body can get used to the resistance. Like for example, if you were to bench press for straight up
Hmm.
for a year, then your body
Hmm.
is extremely familiar with the movement. Like it's basically a daily routine to do it. So
Yeah.
sometimes it's a smart idea to change up your strategy, just like you would in business. Maybe you, instead of cold outreach, you do it in a different way, right? You like
Hmm.
set up an email list, and that's how you do it. So
Yeah.
that's how you adapt that in the gym is you change up the exercise. Make sure it's the same
Hmm.
motion, like it's a pressing movement, but do it
Hmm.
with dumbbells or do it on a machine, You have to change
Yeah.
it up. You have to confuse your muscle, like make sure it's a different motion.
Hmm.
That's how you break that plateau. You try something different, but in the same like principle.
Okay, okay. I mean, that's like amazing. So I think I was not doing this consciously. I was doing this unawarely. So I got like bored with one kind of exercise. So I've been doing that for like literally, let's say that when it's a push day for me. I do like, I finish everything in the bench. I like incline bench press, decline bench press, flat bench press. So literally all pressing movements. So the second I started putting, incorporating like flies, or doing this with a barbell instead of a dumbbell, that's when actually I felt like real change happening. So I guess adding a little variety while preserving the movement or the base movement, I guess that's something to add a spice to the workouts and in life as well, I guess. So can you give us an example as to how you overcame that plateau, or was there, could you like any given recent example? Or as I think, as being in the fitness industry, you obviously hit that very frequently, right?
Yeah, well, a recent example is me trying to break past my strength plateau because I'm
Hmm.
not generally a strength like power building guy. I'm more about like hypertrophy and size
Yeah.
and being the most efficient with growing and not strength
Hmm.
really. But I have a friend that's really good on the bench and he will like
Hmm.
seeing his progress. It was motivating, so I tried myself and I really struggled to lift something that he was able to rep out easily. You know,
Oh.
and of course he weighs more than me but not like significantly more. And
Hmm.
yeah, it just kind of motivated me like, hey, I guess I can experiment a bunch and see how I can shatter that plateau. And what I
Oh.
did was basically incorporate more chest movements to my routine, and I had
Hmm.
to evaluate what part of the movement was the most difficult for me. Because in the bench
Okay.
press, you have two phases, right? You can
Yeah.
either have the bottom phase where you push off the chest, or the
Yeah.
extension phase where the triceps take over. And for
Yes.
me, it was the bottom phase that was harder. I like my chest was weaker than my tricep was. So
Hmm.
basically, I had to, instead of doing my classic like 8 to 12 reps on the bench, I did
Hmm.
3 to 5, but I really upped the weight and I was
Hmm.
doing pauses at the bottom, like not laying the barbell like lay straight on my ribs and like
Okay.
letting go or something, still keeping tension of it, and then pushing up with zero momentum and just raw strength, right? Just like
Okay.
no like bouncing, no stupid things, just straight up using raw strength to push it up, and that's how I managed to shatter my plateau. Now I can pretty much rep out my previous weight I was struggling to break past.
Well, that's like impressive. So, yeah, so you actually said that there's like two portions, like the bottom face and the top face, right? Could you like get into a little bit more detail of that? Because and that's just in the positive rep, right? Both of them?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Oh, yeah, yeah, sure. So you were just saying about, your triceps being bigger than your chest, and then triceps taking over when towards the top half of the positive rep, right? So
Yes.
could you like delve a little bit more on that? Because you literally broke down the positive rep into two phases. So that's kind of new to me. So I'd like to know more about it. Educate me, please.
Yeah, well, as you manage to actually push the weight of the chest and your legs, oh, no, sorry, not your legs. Well, you should use your legs in the bench press, but as
Yeah.
your arms start to like straighten out and extend, basically
Mm-hmm.
like you know, like you were doing a tricep push down. So you do that,
Yeah.
but you're laying down right at the top,
Yeah.
and that's where your
Yeah.
triceps takes over, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like the triceps is naturally larger than the chest, but
Yeah.
it's like you don't nearly like push down as much as you bench press, right? Obviously,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's just that small range of motion at the top, you know. So you can really like strength train your triceps if you feel like you're struggling with the bottom face. Because
Mm-hmm.
I watched like the same friend I mentioned earlier. Like he
Mm-hmm.
struggles with the top part most. He can
Okay.
like push the weight up, but he can't like follow with it. Like it just lingers above him slightly. Like he can't extend it,
Oh,
right?
okay.
So that's how you can really notice if your triceps is struggling or your chest, right? And
Okay.
actually,
Okay.
the movement for the bottom, oh sorry, the upper phase is doing floor presses. It's
Mm-hmm.
basically you just take dumbbells and you lay on the floor. Like it's really awkward. You may like stand like in a passage, like for people, like they
Mm-hmm.
might walk around awkwardly around you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it really helps you because you're not really
Mhm.
descending down to where the chest pulls, right? You just
Yes.
your elbows are on the ground and the weight is already like middle way, so you push from your triceps only basically. And
Yeah.
the floor press is a really great movement for breaking past that plateau on the top face.
Oh, that's a great tip. So yeah, thank you for that. I mean, I did learn a lot. So you know what? I'm gonna try this. I think I'm gonna be. I was kind of feeling like weak on my triceps too. So you know what? I'm gonna use this hack. Thank you for this. And yeah, before we go on to the next topic, so I wanted to yeah address a little bit of a psychology part of this of newbie gains, and I am sure our audience can be wondering how you can apply this concept to their own businesses if possible. So before we get into that, I want to take a moment to talk about the psychology. So there's a reason why newbie gains feel so damn good. It's not about the physical changes or the numbers on the scale. It's about the positive reinforcement that comes with seeing tangible progress, no matter how small. So, like you said, so when you get the reward of feeling accomplished, when you get to see the visible results of your efforts, you get them that little voice in your head that says, hey, you can freaking do this. So, I'd like to ask you, have you ever experienced this kind of, dopamine rush when you've seen early success, and not just in fitness, but in like content creation or any of your business?
Yes, actually, like if we're talking about the gym, it's really
Mm-hmm.
nice to like trying something new and of course instantly being good with it. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people like they find a routine and they follow it and they never really branch out to anything new. But when you
Okay.
branch out to like a new exercise and you do really good at it, it can be like a really good boost forward, like in your
Mm-hmm.
mind. Like you didn't really research much about it, you just did it and it went great. Like lots of movements at the gym are very similar, you know. You can chest press
Yeah.
with a machine, with the dumbbells and with the barbell. Like the objective is to push the weight up, right? There's not much
Yeah.
philosophy with that, but
Totally.
just experiencing new movements and doing them successfully is a great step that everybody should try, really.
Yeah. Everyone should try it. Yeah. I totally agree with that. And yeah, sorry for that. So let's move on to the next one that I've been, dying to discuss about. So, what are the, I think it's going to be so hilarious. What are some of the most common fitness myths, you've encountered? You said that you started by seeing those buffed up guys when you were like 15, right?
Yeah,
So
that
let's start there.
I
So
will
what is
never
the
be the
most,
same again, you know.
so what is the weirdest thing that you've ever encountered on social media? Let's start there.
Well, you'd be surprised how many bullshit is out there because like most people think that way. Like if he's big, he's only gonna
Hmm.
like put out good information out there, and you
Oh
couldn't
yeah.
be more wrong, of course. Like you see lots of like really large people, like arguably like just putting out absolutely garbage information about like supplements that don't work, or just lying about their
Oh my
progress,
gosh.
right? Like
Yeah.
the most stupid product probably is it's either weight loss smoothies or fat loss pills. Like if you
Yeah.
if you just went to primary school for about 2 weeks, you would learn in biology class that you
Hmm.
can't lose fat just by getting some pills. Like it takes more than that, right? And
Oh, they're like literally don't work. Like scientifically, there's like no evidence that they work.
yes, I don't think eating something can lead you to lose calories. Like that is not how the body works, and lots of people buy into it without many research because like that girl looks slim or that guy looks really huge, so surely they know what they're talking about, right? But they don't
Yeah.
really know, and it's
Yeah.
either just like plain ignorance and wanting to profit from stupid people, or they're just
Yeah.
like completely clueless, as the same way the customers are.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's just sad. And, I cannot believe the things that people do for money. I mean, especially, I mean, those fit people, the models, they should know better. I mean, if they got that body by eating those things, then maybe they could promote it. If they did not, then why would you promote that thing? I never understood that. And even worse, I mean, yeah, I think you started by saying this, the 5-minute ab routines. I mean, who the fuck even measures their lips in, 5 minutes? I mean, none of these make any sense. You cannot get shredded in like a week or anything. And why is it that, do you think that people fall for this bullshit? I mean, these weight loss smoothies, I want to come back to that in a bit after this. But why do you think people fall for this? Why are these so appealing?
Because it's just lack of basic understanding of the human body. I think
Hmm.
like if you actually like I don't know where the people that fall for this come from, but surely like where I live, it's not hard to just have this information be told to you like on school, or like if you search for it you will find it. But these
Yeah.
people just they see it and they like take it for granted. They don't research, they don't verify it. Like they just
Oh
think
my
it's
gosh,
what's
yes.
true, right? Like
Yeah.
there's no research behind it, and like it does make sense for like a person that doesn't indulge in that sort of content. Like you're working on your abs, like you're doing like, crunches,
Hmm.
planks, or leg like raises for
Yeah.
some for for
Yeah.
for example. But like it makes sense, like you feel your abs working, right? So surely that means you're burning fat. Like that's what
Hmm.
these people think, but it's not the case, obviously. It's just lack
Yeah.
of basic understanding of the human body. And I don't
Yeah.
think it's actually the people that are at fault, right?
Hmm.
You're like forced basically to go to primary school and learn all that sort of thing.
Hmm.
So either they're stupidly like just totally ignorant to what they're being shown, or like
Hmm.
the system just failed to teach them that.
Yeah.
And they fall for these like fraudulent products. You could say that's fraud basically, because you're promised this thing and you don't get it. Like you're basically being scammed, right?
Yeah, you're literally being scammed. I mean, the amount of time and energy that goes into this is just beyond, it's just alarming to know that people are still falling for this. And it's 2024. So even with all the abundance of information that's out there, the good things, so people go for this because the instant gratification, that, like I usually say, I guess the siren song of our fast-paced world. I mean, it's just it's never good. And when you get on a fitness journey, it's really, really, really important that you be patient. And a guy said this to me, I still remember. And I think this was on Instagram. This was a random ass day, and it was a random ass post. And I just commented on anything, and he like thanked me. And yeah, he said, be ready to think in terms of years, like literally years. And he's not wrong. I mean, it literally takes years. Like even if you mess up and get back up, learn everything, and do everything right, it takes years to get your dream body. And to be fit on top of that, I mean, you can like load up on supplements, like you said. Those God, what are those? Yeah, the muscle gainers or the fat burners, yeah, and all of that. But still, at the end of the day, it's your body. So
Yeah, that's
they,
it's actually
yeah.
it's a very like with the smoothies you mentioned, like the mass gainers and stuff. It's
Mm-hmm.
actually a misconception, because if people like label it as a mass gainer shake, it can be
Mm-hmm.
confused with the actual supplement, right? Because I'm sure there's like powder that's called mass gainer, and it has no
Yeah.
relation with the smoothie itself. A mass
Mm-hmm.
gainer smoothie is basically like lots of ingredients. You add honey, bananas, you peanut butter, You don't
Mm-hmm.
add like the actual mass gainer supplement, right?
Yeah.
And it's a common misconception actually, but yeah, that's and
Say.
about the fat loss shakes, it's like same with the smoothies with like really like weird flowers or something like that, like
Yeah.
borderline spiritual stuff,
Mm,
like rituals and shit. But
yeah.
fat loss shakes are basically lower calorie shakes. They don't
Mm-hmm.
make you lose fat. They're just lower calories, but still lots of nutrients and stuff.
Yeah. I
It's
mean
not
the
like you
yeah.
can live off of them. It's just like it helps you hit your macros when you're losing weight, but they don't
Yeah.
make you lose weight themselves.
Yeah,
That's what should be
exactly.
that should be put out there, like shoved into people's faces, basically that information.
Yeah. I mean, that doesn't sell them now, would they? Yeah, that would make the sale. So, yeah, I mean, I still see this in my gym, but I would appreciate, the guy at the gym, the trainer at the gym that I work out. I mean, they have this, mass gainer, this powder thing that's literally on the reception table. So I asked him, so I was a total beginner. I was just joined the gym and I asked him, hey, should I need this? Do I even need to take this? And he said no. He was the only one who said no, 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 dude, you don't need this. Maybe the only thing that you need is whey protein, and even that is not necessary. And
Yeah,
whey,
that's
yeah,
absolutely correct. Like you don't need to supplement protein, but it helps, of course. But yeah,
yeah,
mass gainer is absolutely optional.
yeah, like, totally. And yeah, I want to come back to whey protein as well because my dad sent me a newspaper snippet like 2 days ago saying that whey protein is it will kill your kidneys or something. So I really want to get deep into this. So yeah, let's just keep it brief for the time being. So why do you think that there's this misconception around whey protein? And maybe let's start with what whey protein is and why this misconception arises in the first place. So could you walk us through that?
Well, basically, whey protein like comes in basically any flavor you could wish for, and that you just blend it with some milk or some water if you're a psychopath, and yeah, you can
Mm.
chug it down for some protein, right?
Yeah,
And the misconception probably comes from the fact like it's not like it's just a powder, right? You're mixing a powder with liquid. It's basically like you're eating pudding, but
yeah,
it's less like dense.
yeah,
And it's probably like supplements are known for being like chemical. Like for example, creatine has this
yeah,
like for a non-lifting person, it can be like an advanced word to say monohydrate, right?
yeah.
So they associate like both
Mhm.
creatine and whey protein are like powder, so they probably associate the powder with something chemical, and you know how people hate chemicals, right? So
Yeah,
they're gonna
yeah.
demonize it like, hey, it's harmful for you, when it's really
Oh,
not.
yeah. Yeah, oh my gosh, yes. And if we really try to educate them, they still go on to, believe the lies over the truth. I mean, literally whey protein is extracted from milk. And if we say that no, 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 it's got like and all these chemicals, it's so bad for you. And yeah, it's bad only if you gorge on it. If you like eat that 24/7 for protein, it's called a supplement for a reason.
Yeah, like
And
unless you snort it, right? Can't go
yeah.
that wrong.
Yeah. I mean, like literally. So it's not like we're doing it like cocaine or ODing on that. But I want to rant on this like so bad, like so long. I think we have to do a separate episode for this. And yeah, so the thing is, I was once doing this. I was like gorging on it. I think I was like eating like 2 to 3 scoops of whey protein, but it kind of messed with me, messed with my metabolism, and I guess I was not feeling, like energetic because I was on a deficit at that time, and I thought I should be, really cutting down on carbs and fats, and I got to gorge on protein and work out. I thought that would do the job, but boy, was I wrong. So I was like worn out, like so exhausted the whole damn day. And then guess what? I took pre-workout and I took whey protein, and then I went on to work out. So I was a wreck. So the thing is, why do I say this is that they really mess with me. As long as you use them wisely, it's fine, right? So, can you quote like any examples from your life or from yours or someone else's who, abused supplements or did not pay attention to what they were doing and, somehow ended up like kind of bad, maybe?
Well, I don't have any any like history with supplements that aren't
Mm-hmm.
like creatine or whey protein. Like my friends don't really, like my gym bros don't really take like all those like citrulline, riboflavin, multivitamin. Like
Yeah.
multivitamin is perfectly fine, right? Like some people
Yeah.
need
Yeah.
it for their deficiencies, but all those like extra stuff like citrulline, riboflavin, and whatever
Mm-hmm.
else you can think of, like it's if you're really rich and really like like you can buy it, like why not, then sure, then go for it. But if you just eat at a balanced diet, you don't really need that.
Yeah,
So
don't
maybe not
bring
like a personalized event, but in general people take really stupid supplements and expect to like you know instead of reaching it in 5 years, they will reach it in one. Like that's just not
it.
gonna happen.
Yeah, that's just not gonna happen, like totally. Uh, and moreover, even if the worst case that they did get the results, they rob you of the satisfaction, of true transformation. It's like you if you didn't even put in the work, but you're still getting any results out of it. I mean, what good is that? Would you even feel anything? You wouldn't get, dopamine in your head. You'll feel nothing, to be honest. At least that's how I felt. I
Yeah,
was like, yeah,
me as
please.
well. Like the biggest cheat code is basically taking testosterone, right? Lots
Yeah.
of people like admit to it, but like stay low key about it because they try to like
Hmm.
save their image, right? And I'm
Yeah.
sure in a lot of parts of the world it's actually illegal to like if they admitted to taking testosterone, they would be just
Uh,
admitting to a crime, right?
oh.
But
Oh, really?
I feel like it takes away the fun of lifting. Obviously, like if you know
Hmm.
you can put in minimal effort and still grow immensely because of your testosterone levels, like
Hmm.
some people, of course, like are deeply focused and motivated, and they will work like harder than ever for it, right?
Yeah.
But it just like it like sends a signal to your brain like you don't have to work hard and you will grow, and that's like it develops a bad mindset in some people.
Yeah. It
And
develops a bad mindset. Like, yeah.
yeah, and in the like more social aspect of it, like if you're
Hmm.
trying to become an influencer, for example, you're trying to like, influencer has influence on people, so you're trying
Hmm.
to set up a good example for them, right? Like,
Yeah.
hey, I worked on myself for 8 years, and this is how I look, and I look fucking great, right? But if you cheat your way to that point, like
Hmm.
your influence is like you're teaching the people to cheat as well, and that's just not
Oh,
correct, right?
yes. Yeah, that's
Lots of
just not
people
correct. Yes.
yeah, lots of people follow like basically fake natties, that's the term, right? Fake natural
Yeah.
people.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've seen those. I mean, I think it's Sean Alwani or someone. People have been asking about, hey, is this guy 90? Is this guy not a 90? So, or something like that. And I guess it's still people are, going for steroids and stuff and claim to be natural. And that's just bad example. I mean, what the hell happened to, morals over money? Or like, what happened to, valuing the intangibles? And this is something that I read about, in one of the mindset books. It's called the paradox of practice. You don't do what you preach, but you're asking others to do something. Hey, do this, do that, but you didn't do that. You got results by, gorging on, chemicals. But yeah, then how does that even make any sense? And the worst part is, I don't even know how they can live with that. So
Yeah,
yeah,
like I personally, I couldn't like morally live with myself if I like exploited somebody
yeah.
to something that's not really realistic. Like whether it's advice, like I didn't really like take it on myself and I give somebody advice that's like blank, or
Mm-hmm.
if I like exploited somebody like we mentioned earlier with like fraudulent products and stuff. It's
Yeah.
like me myself running a page about how to like get bigger, work more optimally, lose maybe some weight, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Yeah.
if I started making content about how women on her period can like not lose strength during lifting, like I don't know shit about that, right? I'm not gonna make
Yeah.
content like
Yeah.
that because I just don't know it, and I'm not gonna pretend like I know it, right?
Yeah.
Lots of like actually women have lots of like troubles in lifting because I'm sure they're like there's like periods and not periods
Yes.
themselves, like periods of like maybe during what's it called, not during labor, like the phase where they have like a kid in their stomach, right? Like that limits you
Mm-hmm.
so much, and I have no knowledge about that, how you should approach that, right?
Yeah.
Or people
Mm-hmm.
with like transplants that maybe they have like something metal like that keeps their heart going, right? Maybe
Mm-hmm.
they
Mm-hmm.
can't use some machines because of that, and I don't know shit about that, so I'm not gonna speak on it, right? I'm
Yeah.
not gonna give like what was the word? Unsolicited advice? Yeah, I think that's the word.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give somebody advice that I don't follow, basically. Like that's why my page has so many like before I started posting like real
Mm-hmm.
content, because I
Mm-hmm.
really like the fact that you can post a short video and like write your soul away in the caption, like really, because I had to like record a 2 minute reel with like small aspects in the video, right? So I just cram
Mm-hmm.
everything to the caption, and I just
Okay.
love like sharing my way of like how I overcame some issues or how I experimented to get better results. I just love
Yeah.
sharing stuff like that. So that's why
Mm-hmm. Good for you.
my captions get really lengthy and stuff.
And I love reading through your posts. I mean, they're like so informative. And yeah, I mean, like to double down on what you just said, I mean, unsolicited advice, I mean, that's still going on. If you don't know something, just say that you don't know. Or at least worse, or even worse, just don't, stop giving advice on stuff that you don't know. For example, yeah, so you cannot just prescribe, 3 scoops of whey protein to a woman suffering from, three, in transplant, kidney transplant or something. So yeah, you have to understand that people, if you don't know, the best you can do is refer them to someone who do know about the conditions. So
Yeah, or yeah, like point them towards some resources that are like verified and really legit, right?
yeah,
Like
yeah, like completely. So to let's say to how can one do this sustainably? For instance, what evidence-based strategies can busy people or busy dudes, busy entrepreneurs implement uh for a sustainable fitness journey and for in general and overall health improvement?
well, surely it can be like I'm sure as entrepreneurs you're really busy. Like either it's traveling, like
Hmm.
you maybe have to meet somebody in a foreign location, like
Yeah.
meetings. You know how those people like have to pay for expensive flights to meet some people, like big
Mm.
investments.
Yeah.
You make money, you reinvest it, but you have to meet a guy like a continent away.
Totally.
So
Yeah.
whenever you're really busy, you should definitely use. And it's not like those really rich at the top entrepreneurs. It can be
Hmm.
those like up and coming that just they're working very hard to be at that point, but
Yeah.
they're still busy with maybe other things than traveling, right? What
Hmm.
you definitely should do, like in the fitness, like spread, it's basically prepping your meals ahead of time,
Hmm.
the same
Yeah.
way you would like. What how should I say it? Like maybe not you would uh, you would make content for like a lot of times to come forward. That same
Yeah.
way you prepare meals ahead of time for
Oh,
yourself.
yeah, okay,
Like
like pre-planning the content. Okay, yeah, that's an amazing, yeah, analogy. Yeah,
yeah,
because I
like
do that too. Yeah.
yeah, maybe you have like a busy week ahead, a trip somewhere, so you had to make like 7 posts for 7 days of the week, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
you're gonna be busy a lot, so you make like 7 plastic bags of food, and you travel with those, and you have
Yeah.
some fucking, I don't know, chicken, rice, broccoli, you eat that and you feel great, right?
Yeah.
And it took you like 30 minutes at home maybe, but you have like a whole week ready of food, right? And that's how you
Yeah.
can fit that into a busy schedule. You don't need to visit a fancy restaurant, wait for the food to come, the order and stuff. You just have your
Mm.
shit ready, like in your backpack,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, literally. I mean, you don't even have to order takeouts, all those, God, what are the most, gorged on takeout in Europe? Because here it's like, some spicy, oily, some sweet things, here in like jangri or something here. But yeah, so the thing to go, add to what you said, say it pre-prepping your meal, it really saves time, right? So just make that nutritious. It doesn't have to be anything mixed. It's just a few veggies, just a few rice or something, or for protein, add a little meat or eggs. Yeah, so my primary protein is like eggs, so that's what I use. That's easy for me to cook. So it's nothing fancy, so that's what I do. And the one question that I want to ask you is about fats, because people, when they hear the term fat, they usually, demonize it again. because
Yeah, that's and
yeah,
it really shouldn't be, because there are healthy fats and there are unhealthy fats, right?
yeah,
Lots of people like think that because, like, being fat means having a lot of weight on you. So
yeah,
logically, like, the reaction is, if something has a lot of fat, it will make you fat.
yeah,
But you can, like, scrap that off as basically not understanding the body yet again, because you can eat immense amounts of fat, but as
yeah,
long as you're under your maintenance, you won't get like fat, you
yeah,
won't gain weight.
yeah.
But the demonization probably comes from the fact that lots of fat food is basically like fried and made with oil and stuff, all that, and it's
Mm-hmm.
associated with brands like fast food chains, right? And
Mm-hmm.
fast food is definitely something people frown upon, but
Yeah,
what they should really be focusing on is sugar.
yeah.
That's what, like, basically what gets your body like not working as it should be. It spikes your blood sugar levels, and lots of bad things can happen with that.
Yeah, like totally. I understand that. I was once, when I was younger, when I was in like high school or something, so in college even. So I added like, 2 full spoons of sugar to all the coffees that I drank. So I like my coffee sweet. So I just, added like anything at all. I wasn't even, paying attention to what I was doing. And I drank that thing, take a guess, like 3 to 4 times a day. So no wonder I was crashing, through all day. Like, yeah, I was unstable, to be honest. And
Yeah.
yeah, I
The
thought I was a problem. I had so many issues, but it was this. It's something as simple as sugar. And just cutting down that, made me more sane. And yeah, I guess that's a good thing that I did. And to go back to what you said, fats, healthy fats and unhealthy fats. And people, I think, generally don't know this because and how can we best educate them this? For example, what are the common healthy fats that they could, use when you're like, meal prepping, when you're like, if, for example, nut butter, I think it's one of them.
Yes, yes, nuts are very healthy. I mean,
Hmm.
if you don't like chug like half a kilogram of them, of course, but they're
Hmm.
very calorie dense foods. It's hard to eat a lot of them, and actually,
Yeah,
often they taste pretty bitter. Like they're kind of hard to eat in large quantities, right?
yeah,
You get that
yeah.
weird aftertaste in your mouth, or maybe just the nuts I was eating were like weird.
Mhm.
But yeah, nuts, like, you can same way with peanut butter, like they have so much protein but also lots of calories, and yeah,
Yeah.
they aren't really that unhealthy. And
Hmm.
like there can be normal fats that are healthy and unhealthy, but
Hmm.
what you should also monitor is like saturated fats, right?
Yeah.
Basically, like, I don't know, like people watching it from where they are, but here in Europe, it's like mandatory to show the nutrition value per 100 grams, right? And they
Yes. Yeah.
always they always show you like how many fats and how many out of them are saturated fats.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
most common food that's like they make ads about it, and it's really famous. It's like basically a tradition, right?
Hmm.
It's called cabanos. It's this like really thin sausage, and
Oh,
it's basically per 100 grams. It's like 500 calories. That's manageable. The protein is high because it's meat, but it
okay.
has so much saturated fats, and people like ignore that. Like
Oh,
your cholesterol levels are gonna get messed up, and if you eat that
oh,
for
like
prolonged
totally.
periods of
Yeah.
time, it can really harm your heart, like
Oh.
internally.
Oh, it's a high protein dish with so much fucking fat that's gonna oh my God.
Yeah,
Well,
well, it's
these
basically
things
like a snack. It's like basically a long chain of sausages, just like,
uh-huh.
tied together and put like in a plastic wrapping, and they just throw that shit on shelves, right?
Oh,
And they have
Jesus.
like, they either have, I mean, obviously it's all flavored for meat, like a poultry, beef, or something, chicken,
Uh,
right?
uh-huh.
And they also have like spicy flavors, like jalapeno, or however you say it. And
Mm-hmm.
they have
Jalapeno,
like
yeah.
with like it's kind. I never bought them. They seem disgusting and they smell like dog shit, right? But they have ones with like cheese and garlic inside, and like as soon as you open the bag, like the
Uh-huh.
whole like whatever building you're in, that entire thing would be smelling like shit, basically. So I
Oh
never bought
God.
it. But yeah, it has lots of flavors and lots of like ads for it. It's like a tradition. It's like Lay's chips, but for fucking Poland, right? And
Uh-huh.
lots of people buy it. It's a successful product, but they don't
Hmm.
realize the branding, right? Hey, like this has saturated fats, lots of it. Like
Yeah.
once a week, 2 times a week, maybe, sure, after a good workout, maybe you burnt a lot of calories, sure, you
Yeah.
can snack on
Yeah.
that, but don't make it a daily habit, or your heart will just get fucked up, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, you're literally, yes. I mean, if something that dense in fat is being eaten on a daily basis, yeah, no wonder everyone's, hanging around with 900 pounds of fat. I mean, you should see it here. I mean, to give you an Indian equivalent of what you just said, I guess rice and then oil. I mean, oil, I think is just, super dense in fat. And we just, Indians, we love to pour oil on everything, sweet, salt, you name it. I mean, especially chips and spicy shit. So the thing is, I was once, demonizing oil too because I even don't use oil because I personally don't feel like I need it. So for the people who do, how do you, mindfully use it? Because it doesn't look like, even though it's just, 2 drops or 3 drops, I mean, it's just so dense in calories. You get so many calories from that, right? So how do you mindfully use, or incorporate, how do I put it, calorie dense, but the food with nutrition, like so many nutrients in your diet while prepping your meals? Was it a long question? Sorry.
Yeah, well, I mean, one thing you can do is just not use oil, right?
Yeah.
Some like meals are prepared with cooking spray, right? You just spray
Hmm.
the pan with it, and that's how you do it. And
Oh,
the
okay.
thing, but it's never perfect. Like it's not like a solution. Like the oil franchise is gonna die now because of cooking spray. But
Yeah.
one misconception, and it's mostly in America because they don't have the European like requirement to show the value per 100 grams, right?
Oh,
Because
oh, they don't?
they on the cooking spray, like you only shown how much one portion is, right? And it's like, I don't
Okay.
know, 1 calorie or something. Like, hey, that's great, right? Oil has a
Uh-huh.
shit ton of calories, and that has only
Hmm.
one per portion. But what they
Yeah.
don't tell you is how much a portion is, right? And
Oh,
one portion of cooking spray is basically like holding it down for a tenth of a second, right? So
yeah.
imagine you just for a couple of seconds spraying the pan all over. Like that's gonna add up to like 100 calories, right?
What?
But
Yeah, no shit. Totally.
yeah, but in America they don't have the law to like tell the clients that. Like
Oh my
people are
God.
just clueless and they're just spraying and praying, right? Basically. But yeah, it
Oh,
adds up quickly because one portion is just so few.
yeah, it's just so few. I mean, for one spray, imagine that what would be like 10, 11 portions in one spray? God, I can't even begin to imagine how serious that is. Yeah. So even the laws of the country, the food laws, the nutrition laws, I mean, they kind of have an influence on this. But we as consumers, we just, I guess for beginners, for starters, we can say this. I mean, just read the nutrition information on the packets. Just pay attention to that. Just pay how many fats, just the macros, the protein, the carbs, the fats, how much they're ingesting. I mean, that would do the trick, right? So prioritize protein, fiber, and fiber is another thing too. That's important, right? So I was not consuming that. So I guess that kind of messed me up because that's important for the gut bacteria and for digestion also, right? So pay attention to that. And your body is a temple, guys, not a trash can. So please worship it and feed it, right? So
That's
and
absolutely true. And fiber is
yeah.
extremely important actually if you're cutting down on weight because
Mm-hmm.
it's similar to protein, but you of course consume way less fiber than protein, but it helps you like feel fuller for
Yeah.
longer. Like you don't
Yeah.
feel like snacking on everything you see. You can just
Yeah.
eat some high fiber stuff, and it's rarely like calorie dense. Like most fiber
Totally.
sources are actually pretty like calorie
Mm-hmm.
low, the opposite of dense, you could say. Like
Yeah.
the most fiber you can find in split peas and like in raspberries, right? And peas.
Yeah.
Like it's just not peas. Like peas have basically no calories, right? It's hard to overeat on peas. Same
Yeah.
with raspberries.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I mean, for fiber, I think I use like whole wheat bread, whole wheat, brown rice and all that. I guess that takes super rich in fiber. And even if I eat like, one or two breads, I feel like so full. Yeah, for like
Yeah,
two to three
you know
hours. Yeah,
Grains are extremely good for fiber overall. Chia
right?
seeds, like they're often like blended with the bullshit like weight loss smoothie, like because fiber makes you, of course, like I mentioned earlier, like it doesn't feel like you need to eat after it. So they
Yeah.
like blend it with those smoothies, like hey, it all works. Like no, it really doesn't. But yeah, chia seeds are
Hmm.
very underrated. I think they should be like put away from the smoothie scene and like cherished as
Yeah.
a standalone food you can just snack on and have great benefits from it.
Yeah, they, yeah, so totally. Yeah, I mean, people exploit so much on people's laziness on
Yeah,
food, you know.
you don't need to make like an abomination of multiple ingredients to be effective with your diet, you can just eat
Yeah.
standalone foods.
Oh
You
my
really
gosh,
don't need
yes.
to make those abominations.
You know, I love the word. Yeah. I mean, you don't need a messed up diet. All you need is simple things. Just stick to the basics. I mean, just the basic. What's the most basic thing that you can think for fiber, for protein? If it's meat, then eat that. I mean, just like saute it a little bit. Don't use, maybe if you need oil that badly, maybe like use 2 drops of it. Yeah, and then, what do I put? Just boil it or just, add salt, eat it. That's fine, and eat the same thing the next day and maybe change it a little, maybe change the veggies so that you get a little bit of taste. I mean, it's up to us to optimize, to find the right ones, right? And when you don't have time, it's important that you don't get bored out of food either. So yeah, I guess that's what I wanted to say on this note. And thank you so much for this. I know it's not easy to put up with a guy like me. I've been told that I've been a hard ass. I mean, especially at my 9 to 5, which I quit, thank God. And yeah, so thank you again for so much information. And one main topic that I want to talk about next is, weights, body weights or free weights. So which one? What are the merits, demerits, the pros, cons, plus, minus, training with just body weight and incorporating, weight lifts, in general. Let's talk about, the general public, us, whatever. So could you
Well,
explain that? Yeah.
of course, calisthenics is better for people that want to like have basically like show off strength, right? Like by no
Yeah.
means I'm calling like calisthenic athletes posers or anything. I just mean like if you compare a general weightlifter to somebody that does calisthenics,
Yeah.
obviously all those like levers, L-sits, all those like weight like calisthenics poses, like of course they
Hmm.
look more impressive, right?
Yeah.
But calisthenics has that issue where it's hard to target some muscles, namely
Yeah.
the back, and like it's hard to train the legs. Of course you
Hmm.
can do like squats, maybe some squat jumps and stuff, but your legs are like pretty strong, like you've been walking on them for your whole life, right?
Yeah.
Like they're pretty strong, and it's hard to overload on them without excess, like just picking up a barbell or something. And like
Yeah.
you can of course, like I don't know, load your backpack with weights, put some battles books maybe, but that's not your body weight then, that's not calisthenics really anymore, unless you like branch out into that.
Yeah.
But yeah, for example, a muscle like the hamstrings, right, on the
Mm.
back of your
Yeah.
thigh, that one is
Hmm.
really hard to train as you're a calisthenic athlete, because you generally like it's a hinge like movement, right? But you
Hmm.
can't really have weight to like put like stress on it, right?
Yeah, but
you
how do you, but I got a
you,
question
you
here. I
can't
mean,
really
how
do
do you
much.
target? Yeah, sorry to interrupt, but how do you target, legs with, I mean, we're just using body weight here, and there's no overload, and your legs are already strong enough. We can like do squats. If you do like a billion of them, maybe you're like training close to failure. But I'm just, concerned about how you train legs, just legs with body weight, with through calisthenics.
Well, doing like tens or hundreds of squats to failure is like basically you're doing cardio at that point, right? Like it takes you too long to reach failure doing that.
Yeah.
And imagine like doing 3 sets of that, like that would just take like half an hour, right?
Yeah.
So you just need to put your legs into like squat positions, but once they were never in before, right? You can do
Mm-hmm.
like pulse squats. It's where you do like you bend down to not bend down. You go down to a squat, you
Mm-hmm.
slightly go up, and then you go
Mm-hmm.
down again and up. It's like a 1.25 rep, right?
Oh,
Or you,
okay.
or you can alternatively do squat jumps. It's where
Mm-hmm.
you, I mean, the name is pretty obvious, right? You
Yeah,
just
like
go down
squat
to
and
your
jump.
natural
Yeah.
squat positions, and then you launch off into the air, like jumping
Yeah.
straight up.
Oh
And
God.
that puts more effort because you're in that like position, like your legs are under some stress in the squat position, not a lot, but you
Mm-hmm.
instantly put so much effort into pushing yourself and jumping that
Yeah.
like it puts more effort than just a normal squat because of the rapid like explosiveness of the movement.
Explosive rep. Yes. Yeah.
And as you get better at it and more flexible, which is a big thing for calisthenic athletes, like they're really flexible and all that stuff, you
Mm-hmm.
can maybe like do one-legged squats, and that's like, you know, you're basically doubling the weight of your body for that leg. So you can maybe
Oh, okay.
get some, you know, work for that with just one leg.
Yeah, with just one leg. It's like kind of like a single arm push-ups. You do that for the leg. Okay.
Yeah, but it's definitely not a beginner-friendly option, but you can work your way up to it definitely over time.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't think I would ever do that, even if I get advanced. I mean, it requires so much balance, A, and number two, it's kind of hard. So yeah, but you gotta be like really, really, really focused on this, I guess. And uh, so why and who would you recommend calisthenics to?
Probably it can either be like pretty young and passionate people that either can't afford the gym or don't have anybody to like buy it for them, like maybe their parents are against it, right? You
Mm-hmm.
can, it's no problem doing some push-ups at homes, you know. Maybe you have like those outdoor gyms near your home, you can just do some pull-ups on them, maybe some body rows if you need the strength for the pull-up.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're either really like restricted with either money or, you know, permission, or when you're
Mm-hmm.
just really busy with life in general, maybe you're waiting in queues for long, or you know, like
Mm-hmm.
if you can afford to just like 15 minutes of your time, you know, because
Yeah.
driving to a gym, warming up, like that can take really long and like build up over time, right? But
Yeah.
if you can just drop down, do some push-ups, do some like pull-ups on the, I don't know, the fucking door frame, right? You can just open a door, grab the top
Mm.
of the door, do some pull-ups on the door, right? Why not?
Yeah. Why
You want to
not?
do dips, take two chairs, you know, do dips on the chairs, like they break,
Yeah.
too bad, you know, you got your workout in. But yeah, the gym can take so much more time, and you know it can take you farther because obviously you have more options, you know. And it's not
Yeah.
just dumbbells and barbells, right? You have like they come with pre-made, I don't know, maybe you want the balls, like the big balls, you know. Or
Yeah,
maybe
that you
you want
can
like,
roll around. I love them, you know.
yeah, maybe you're too, yeah, like too weak for pull-ups, maybe you need a resistance band, right? Like
Yeah.
personally I use them because they're just more comfortable to learn the movement.
Yeah.
Or maybe you
I mean,
just
I
like want,
use,
you know,
yeah. Yeah.
those mattresses for like yoga or something, so your elbows don't hurt, like, you know.
Yeah.
The gym, like, you pay mostly not that much and you get so much, like
You get so much.
even stuff you
Exactly.
don't need, right? Like
Yeah.
gyms don't have tiers, like one tier has access to this, but a better has access to this, you know. Gyms don't work
Yeah.
like that. You pay for the minimal and you get everything, like it's great,
Yeah.
right? But it
Totally.
requires that extra
Totally.
time management.
Yeah, and if you just dedicate, like you said, just 1 extra hour, you can make so much. I mean, this is probably the best subscription package that I've ever subscribed to in my life. Gym is the best investment, I guess,
Yeah.
because you get to train everything, and you get to, develop strength, and it boosts metabolism, and you can adapt to any schedule. You can do like short, like intense workouts, or like long workouts, like, 4 sets focused reps in all the other exercises. I mean, you can do literally anything. The options are limitless, right? So,
Right. The sky's the limit, right?
yeah, it's kind of, duh, totally. Yeah, and no muscle group is left out. You can work on like for example, literally you can do bro split. You can do so many splits, like push pull legs or upper lower, whatever you're comfortable with, and you can target all of them. Nothing is left out. But on the other hand, I guess calisthenics can be, recommended to people who don't have a lot of time, who have like literally no choice but to rely on their body weight for, working out. I guess that would be a good option. But yeah, what are the, let's say the cons of gym? So I gotta think this has really been talked about. I like to discuss about the pros, but I don't really know a lot about the, the disadvantages of going to the gym, or I wouldn't say disadvantages, just the cons, maybe some negatives that you don't that you get to experience while, being part of a gym?
Well, actually, inside of the gym, like there can be a lot of commotion, obviously, right? Like when you're
Mm-hmm.
training calisthenics, like let's say push-ups, like at your home, like basically nobody's there, right? Maybe
Yeah.
parents, siblings, but at the gym it can get really crowded, and that
Mm-hmm.
can be like a downside for most people that are starting out, because they feel overwhelmed, they feel stressed, and it
Yeah.
can be tough for them, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, for beginners
I think
especially. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. And if you're just considering the gym, you haven't actually gone in, but you're considering it, like
Mm-hmm.
straight up the costs can be too much for somebody. Like
Yeah.
me personally, like my gym is kind of cheap. Like the longer you sign up for, the cheaper it is, right? So you can
Yeah.
either like for a month, for 3 months, and for a whole year, right? And for the whole
Mm-hmm.
year, it's like pretty cheap. It's like if you translate from currency, it's like 20 something dollars per month. Like that's really
Yeah.
cheap, right?
Yeah.
But I've listened to some opinions from other like of my friends, of my gym friends, and
Mm-hmm.
when I tell them if you were to buy a normal plan, like 3 months, for example, like
Mm-hmm.
they really complain, like, hey, that's expensive. My gym is cheaper, right? So I can
Yeah.
really see the gym costs in some areas of the world, like sign some people out, like, hey, that's too
Mm-hmm.
expensive for me.
Mm-hmm.
I can really see that, especially if they're younger.
Yeah. I mean, people tend to, develop a resistance towards investing in gym. They don't see it as an investment rather than just an expense instead. So that just kind of pains me because it's your health, it's your fitness. I mean, I mean, if you cannot afford the gym, find a cheaper gym. You don't need all the fancy equipment. You need the basics. You need dumbbells, you need barbells, and maybe a few machines to help you. Especially if you're starting out, you would need to rely on machines, right? And for example, you
Yeah.
would need a cable machine, and you would need God, what are the other machines? I cannot think of anything. The flies, the chest flies, and all that, and maybe a squat stand. I mean, it's not even, and maybe the Smith machine, yeah, my favorite. Yeah, you need only these three, like 3 to 4 in essence. So, and a smaller gym is fine. I'm actually, I look at the gyms, all the social media and everything. They're like big. They're so big, and there's like so many people working out in that. And mine is like the size of a, a 10 meter by 10 meter apartment. That's what my gym is literally that size of that. And yeah, and there's still a lot of guys working, and that's enough for me, and that's good enough, and that's the gym that I'm going to right now, and I'm okay with it. So I guess what I'm trying to say is you don't need so many, or you don't need a fancy gym to get a great body. Or can you like give us the basic requirements for someone who's trying to, choose a gym? Like what should they look for in a gym, maybe?
You should definitely like look forward to what you actually care about, because
Hmm.
you may sometimes experience like you can have access to the gym, but there are other like areas that need, for example, additional payment. Like I know I mentioned tiers, but it's not
Hmm.
like equipment. I mean like a sauna or something, or like massages or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So you definitely want to pay like the minimum they will take to just
Mm.
get into the accessory section and stuff. You don't want the extra shit you didn't sign up for, right?
Yeah.
And like if you can see, I guess, images of the gym online, I mean, I doubt that there are gyms without barbells, right? But I can see
Hmm.
that there are some gyms that don't have a pull-up bar, and that's
Hmm.
definitely a requirement later on.
Yeah.
And if you were to like assemble your own gym, you definitely need to have like a lot of space above you, so you can do like pressing movement standing up, right? So
Totally.
if you want
Yeah.
to make your own gym, make it in a place where you can place a rack like at shoulder level, so you can unrack the weight and actually push it
Hmm.
up. There's actually a funny coincidence, because my friend has a gym in his basement, and
Uh-huh.
if he were to stand up, he wouldn't be able to shoulder press, for example,
What?
because
Oh.
like it's just the roof there, like he has to do shoulder press seated, and it's like really restrictive.
Oh.
So yeah, if you ever want to build your own gym, do it in a place. I mean, I'm sure there are many options. If you're like considering building a gym, I'm sure you have more than just your home, like as a
Yeah.
as a as a possible place for it, right? So always aim for places with lots of roof above them. Same for
Hmm.
pull-ups. Like you don't want to do pull-ups and hit your head on the roof. Like that's just not convenient, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
And
I mean, in the gym that I go to, there's like literally 3 inches of space between the topmost position of the pull-up and the roof. So I'm just every time I do that, I use the assisted pull-up machine to do that, with the minimum weight. So I do that. So yeah, every time I go to that topmost position, it's kind of hard to really pull yourself up to go all the way just to get your head knocked up on the roof. So please, guys, listen to Matt. So go to a gym with lots of space, especially between your head and the roof. And yeah, you need to be able to move around. And I'd like to add one more thing to this. I mean, it's not sexy. I mean, it's like water and a toilet because the gym that I used to go to before this did not have one. They didn't have water. I mean, I didn't know that when I signed up for that. So when I went to the first day, I was like, I had like a can of water. I think it was like literally like 1 liter or something. So I drank it all up. I mean, you know how fast we drink water, right? So I
Yeah.
was like literally an elephant. I drank all of it, and there was no water. And I asked them, "Oh no, we don't have that." Yeah, no wonder the gym fee was so cheap. So that's when it struck me.
Yeah,
I mean,
like they just wrote off everything like outside the weights
oh my,
section, right? They probably like
yeah.
you just pay for the weights, you don't even pay for the locker. Like there's no locker.
Literally, yes. I mean, the locker is the floor. All the bags were on the floor. Okay, I was too broke at that point. I did not know how to, choose the right gym. I just wanted to get to a gym. So since I moved to a new city, so I just wanted to join a gym like so bad. I didn't want to like, develop a huge gap between the last time I went to the gym and the next time I'm gonna join, right? So I joined this thing and there was nothing, literally nothing. I mean, there were no trainers. I thought, and the weights, they didn't have the grips. I mean, I was literally holding on to bare iron, and they were scratching my hand, and I pushed through it for some reason. I was putting up with all that. So, God, it was hell, literally. I mean, workouts, it shouldn't be a punishment. So that's what I believe in. So do you like have any funny experiences like this? I mean, any shitty gyms that you went to?
I really went to only one, but I really like to steal water from my current gym. Like
Hmm?
you probably, I mean, I don't carry like a big bottle with me, just not convenient really.
Oh,
But every
yeah.
time like I want to stop myself from just putting the bottle under the tap and just stealing their water. Like I'm sure I
Hmm.
costed them like $100 in water bills at this point, but I don't really care.
Jesus. Oh.
Yeah, like I stole like 500 liters of water from them, and I don't regret one bit.
Yeah, I mean, we need water. These are like basic needs. And the gym that I went to, it was like, underground, a level below ground. You need to like descend from the road, a set of stairs to go to the gym. And there were no windows, nothing. So thank God they didn't have doors. So anyone could walk in the gym, whatever they wanted. And I was like literally after between sets, yeah, just running to the door to get some air. So guys, if you're listening to this, please just choose a gym which, serves your basic needs and which has weights, which has bench, and which has space, above all, I guess. And one important thing that I want to talk about is what are some creative ways to, incorporate fitness into a busy schedule if you don't have a gym membership. For example, if you're traveling a lot, like if you're constantly traveling, and how do you incorporate then?
Well, surely like calisthenics is your biggest bet, right? And
Mm-hmm.
if you, depending on how your travel looks like, maybe you can either like buy equipment that you can adjust easily. Like if you know you're gonna have like 5 minutes of free time in a room that's not very tall, you can like
Mm-hmm.
have a pull-up bar with you. Like you can just attach it to the roof
Wow.
and just hit
Yeah.
some pull-ups that way, like even inside a building, right?
Yeah.
Or you can maybe carry like those rings that people use. You can adjust a ring and do some like ring push-ups maybe if you can. If
Okay.
push-ups are too easy for you, you can just have some equipment ready with you to just assemble quickly, do your
Mm-hmm.
workout, and like put it like back into pieces and store it away for later.
Okay. So like detachable equipment that's like easy to carry, that's like a go-to for people, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
or maybe you can. This probably expensive and obviously very heavy, but like travel usually like they weigh your stuff, right? But if you're
Mm-hmm.
maybe traveling something where you can just take your own things and like they not measure it and something,
Mm-hmm.
else, you can just take those adjustable dumbbells, right? You put
Yeah.
it into the like rack, and you can choose how much weight it has.
Oh yeah.
It's very convenient because you can just have like one tool, and like
Mm-hmm.
those two dumbbells, you can basically have a full routine out of them, right?
Yeah,
So
like
it just
totally.
like if the weight is not a problem, like for planes or stuff, then you
Mm-hmm.
can just take that adjustable equipment with you everywhere, and it's really convenient.
Yeah, I mean, how heavy are those? I mean, the dumbbell things, I saw them once, I think in Instagram or something. So they were like so good. And you can like literally, all you need is two dumbbells and you can adjust the weight just with a little, a twist, right? So how good are they? Have you tried any of them?
No, I haven't really had like a chance to do them because
Mm-hmm.
when I started lifting, I wasn't really aware like such a product exists. Like
Yeah.
the best I had was like at home, you just have like the metal rod and you can put plates on it, of course, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
it takes lots of time to unscrew the thing, put the plates on, like assemble, disassemble it.
Yeah.
But hey, it got the job done, right? Only
Yeah.
about like a year and something of lifting, I
Mm-hmm.
was looking through social media and I saw those dumbbells advertised, right? I don't know
Yeah.
for how long they were around. I'm sure it's like a product for like a couple years, right? Like surely,
Mm-hmm.
but I wasn't just aware of it. But I never had the chance to try them. But
Mm-hmm.
I can see how gathering them around can be difficult. Like you just have like 40 kilograms in your backpack, for example, right? Like
Yeah.
if you have a vehicle, like that's not a problem, right? But if you just have your own thing, like you're basically
Mm-hmm.
working out just carrying that around in your backpack.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's not viable in that case, especially if you don't have a vehicle to carry that thing around, right? But if you do, then that's kind of a good option to consider, I guess. Yeah. And so what about how would you suggest that people when they're like traveling like entrepreneurs when they're like juggling a lot, how do you suggest that they stay motivated with like having some company or even working out alone? How can one embark is not a great word. How can one stay committed to their fitness journey while they're minding their business? I mean, like literally in this case.
Well, it can either be like having, your business partner be more like deeply invested into the topic as you. Maybe your partner is like really deep
Mhm.
in on fitness, and he can like just push you forward. Like, hey, like we're busy, but there are responsibilities we need to do, right?
Yeah.
So you either get that like mental support and push from somebody or you
Mm-hmm.
just have to like, it can be tough at times, but you have to manage it somehow.
Yeah.
But your business partner can take you a long way, so you have to develop like valuable connections, right? With people
Yeah,
that are like
totally.
they think the same way you are. Like if you were struggling to find time for something, but your
Mm-hmm.
friend is like, he's invested into something else totally. Like he's
Mm-hmm.
not gonna give you that advice how to find that time. Like he's busy himself, right?
Yeah.
So if you think you're struggling with fitness, then surround yourself with like trainers and like people knowledgeable on it, like with great
Yeah.
physiques and that are successful doing it for life basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, surround yourself with the right ones. That's an amazing tip. I mean, I started doing that. I mean, I still work out alone. I don't have like any buddies or anyone. But when I get into the gym, I mean, it's the getting there that's the hardest part for me. So, so when I get into the gym, so to see all those guys, to push themselves, so hard, all for what? To gain a little muscle. And I'm just saying it like it's not a big deal. I mean, of course it's a big thing. So yeah, I mean, just watching them push themselves, it's like so beautiful, and that sometimes is all the motivation that I need, especially when I was like still going to my 9 to 5. I mean, still I am. So when I come back from a terrible day, and when I go to the gym, so it's like so amazing to see that. And sometimes that's all the motivation you need. You need someone to push you. And yeah, maybe when you to act as a spotter or something like that, even if it's just for the duration of the workout. I mean, they all count, don't they? So the thing is, but speaking of spotting, how do you spot when you're like, doing calisthenics? How do you like help someone when someone like struggling with their body weight and like flailing around while doing calisthenics? I mean, I'm sorry, I'm just curious. I just want to know.
Well, I think calisthenics is very safe to take to failure. Like if you
Hmm.
can't do a push up, you just like plummet to the ground, like it's okay, it's no big deal really. If you
Yeah.
can't like if you don't have weight on your back, assuming you fail on a squat, you can just like awkwardly like drop to the side or something.
Yeah.
It's no big deal really. But the
Mm-hmm.
only like real danger can be if you go to failure on pull-ups and, for example, like your arm slips and you just fall down in an awkward position, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not really like reasonable to have a spotter for pull-ups, but the best they can do is like make sure you don't approach reps that are obviously like
Mm-hmm.
you could basically see that they had to crank out for like 5 minutes for like 5 seconds, I'd say, like their
Mm-hmm.
last pull-up, and they're trying to approach another one, right? Like
Yeah.
if you see a struggle on the bench press with a lot of weight, like
Mm-hmm.
the guy can attempt another rep, no problem. Like the guy will like just help him up with the weight, right? If he
Yeah.
fails. But if it's pull-ups, like it's not reasonable to just like in a split second catch somebody safely, and like maybe they're just not even like hanging like high enough, right? Like
Yeah.
maybe they're just inches away from the ground, and like you can still injure yourself from a small height, right? You
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
maybe your posture wasn't correct, your legs were in front and you fell on your butt, right? And like
Yeah.
that can really affect your spine badly.
It
So
could.
just
Yeah.
if you want to train calisthenics, don't take pull-ups to failure unless you can like you can ensure a safe landing for yourself, or
Yeah,
like maybe
totally.
you can like calisthenics is mainly without equipment, but maybe some lifting straps to ensure your grip doesn't slip, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you know it's better to lift slightly less efficiently but do it safe, right? So
Yeah.
that
And
one extra rep
safety.
that can put you in
Yeah.
a wheelchair is not really worth it sometimes.
Yeah, something you need to know when to stop. I mean, this is actually what I say: train close to failure, but not to failure. So, I mean, this applies to strength training. So especially I tend to get ahead of myself sometimes. I train so close to failure that I wouldn't be able to move at all. And I think this was once during my lat workout. I mean, I was doing seated rows, and yeah, thank God I was performing it on a machine. So I was able to. I was on my very last rep. That was so close to failure, and I just my body couldn't move. I couldn't pull it back anymore, and all I wanted to do was let the weight go. And the grip was so weak in my hands, so I let it go like so fast. I think I kind of sprained my back, and I could not move. My upper back was like still. I could not move an inch, so it hurt so much. So I guess what I'm trying to say is just call it like at least 2 to 3 reps before failure. I guess that's a good place to stop. So Matt, what do you recommend like when you're training like close to failure with training weights? So is there a good sign to watch out for or something like that that you could tell?
Well, certainly if you set yourself a goal like 3 sets of 8 and you're like on rep 6,
Mm-hmm.
you're in the middle of rep 6 and you notice your form start to break down, right? Like
Yeah.
maybe you're doing barbell rows and
Mm-hmm.
you're supposed to do like 3 more, but
Mm-hmm.
like the third to last one, you're already like shaky, your legs aren't stiff anymore, your core is like not engaged as much,
Yeah.
and you just start like bending over more and more to just shorten the range of motion so you can get
Yeah.
the rep in, right?
Yeah.
So so like those like junker quality reps are not how you should approach training to failure, right? You want
Totally.
to make sure that the failure is done like with perfect form and perfect range of motion,
Yeah.
and you want to also like, if training to failure is okay if you do it smart, but you have to be cautious on like movements it's hard to basically take to failure on your own, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't want to approach a bench press to failure like if you don't have a spotter, like you're just gonna get
Oh
stuck,
God,
right?
yes.
And some people go to failure on the squat, but like they know how to bail the squat, right? They know
Yeah.
like, hey, I can't push anymore, my posture is awkward, like I don't have the strength, so they just unlock their hands and they just
Yeah.
jump out, like they have the knowledge how to do that, so you have to do it smart, right?
Yeah. You got
lots
to
of
be
people like
smart. Yeah.
lots of people you see online, like they spot them from behind on the squat, right?
Yeah.
But what actually is funny is how few people know what to do. Like I saw a clip of somebody spotting on the squat
Mm-hmm.
and he failed and he
Mm-hmm.
just grabbed the guy's torso like it was his girlfriend or something. Like you're supposed to help him like with shoulder pressing the weight, basically. You're not supposed to
Yeah.
like hold the guy.
Yeah. You're
But
supposed to
if you have
lift
like,
him up. Yeah. Like,
yeah,
totally.
if
Yeah.
your spotter knows how to spot you, so go to failure, absolutely. It's great, right?
Yeah.
And on movements that are like obviously safe to failure, like I don't know, bicep curls or like rope push downs, right? You can
Yeah.
just stop pushing, let the machine steal it away from you, and like that's okay, right?
Yeah, that's
But yeah,
okay.
if you're laying down and the barbell is above you or on your back, that's when you should have like a smart spotter or just knowledge how to bail from that.
Yeah, so I see a lot of this, when guys, defying death, trying to do push-up, bench presses, and yeah, this is number one. And I'm sorry, I know we're taking long, but we'll wrap it up soon. But the last thing that I want to address is swinging. I mean, training close to failure is one thing, but swinging, God, it's still happening, man. I mean, I've tried screaming my heart out as to why one should not swing, and the worst part is they're going heavy and they're taking this, 12, what do I say, this 17 and a half kilo dumbbells, and then they're swinging around trying to do curls. I mean, all for what? Just to see a freaking number that you're lifting, or they're chasing numbers, they're ego lifting. See, all this or something, God, and there's so much to talk about this, but can you tell in a very offensive way, in a way that our, listeners will understand that why one should not swing at all, especially when you're running low on time?
Well, using your example of bicep curls, like obviously, if your
Hmm.
posture isn't like up front and you're just like using your, I mean, it's basically using leg drive for your bicep curls, right?
Yeah.
Like the more outside of the biceps you use to lift, like the less activation you get. The
Hmm.
same case is like when you're doing standing overhead presses,
Hmm.
you're standing up on your legs, you can easily like springboard yourself up to lift the weight, right?
Oh
But when
yeah.
you're sitting, but when you're sitting down, legs aren't a factor anymore. You're
Yeah.
seated, like you're on a bench. You can't like springboard yourself because you're not in the position for that, right? So that
Yeah,
means
totally.
less activation of the legs and more of the muscle you're working. So
Hmm.
if you swing that way on your like bicep curls, for example, you're using your, I don't know. Lots of people actually stand up on their toes and like do a weird motion, like their knees start bending and they like they lower down and then they like get the weight up. It's actually a really weird motion if you don't like have it in front of you, like explained. But yeah, lots of people just stand on their toes and like really lean back, basically,
Oh my
and
gosh,
that just
yes.
activates so much other muscle than the biceps. And like, not only are you lifting with like bad form, you're also like not training the bicep. Basically,
Yeah. Yeah, I
you're
mean, there are
relying on
so
all
many
those
people.
like
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
all those other muscles except the biceps, right? So why would you even do that? Like, this
Yeah,
is
there's like
like
no
if you
point to doing that. Yeah.
yeah, like that ego lifting and all those like cranky forms is basically like as you approach failure, right? So
Yeah.
if you're wanting to do failure, do it with good form and not with like your whole body. Like you want to go to failure on bicep curls, right?
Yeah.
Not on like I don't know on the full body basically. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of way you bend when you ego lift, right? But
Hmm.
surely that muscle you're bending is not taking to failure, right? You want to
Definitely.
take the bicep to failure and not whatever else you're like bending. So
Yeah.
so yeah.
This is what I always say. I mean, it's fine if you're lifting weight. In most of the cases, if you think about it, you don't even need to go for that heavy, especially, isolation exercises like bicep curls, like, what about the shrugs or the tricep pushdowns and all these, you don't even need to go heavy. So just focus on the right form to take it close to failure and then enough. That's enough for you. 3 sets of that, 4 sets of that, you're done. You're gonna get gain shit. But I never understood this concept. And the reason I think is that people tend to copy things. So if you see one guy swinging, like, and he's like all buffed up, and like, oh, yeah, and everything, we tend to, it's the beginners that get, affected by this, and yeah, I mean, that's just sad. So is there like something like a warning, a red flag that we could give them so that people would avoid swinging?
Well, it's really like depending, like the red flag that you shouldn't go past that point is like different from exercise to exercise.
Hmm.
But the main issue you should look forward to if you want to like lift safely and take to failure safety is basically if your form is breaking down, right?
Yeah, form is breaking down. Yeah, got it. God, oh my God, thank you so much, man. I mean, you gave so much value. Thank you for sticking with us for so long. and you're like literally halfway across the world. And I don't know what made you trust me. And thank you so much again. And before we wrap up, would you like to say something to our listeners?
Lift safe and lift effectively. Absolutely. Like
Mhm.
it's better to, like if you injure yourself and be put in a wheelchair, you can't really lift, right? So do it
Yeah.
safe.
Totally. But thank you. Thanks again. And man, and also tell us our audience about where people can find you, how can they contact you if needed, and what can they share with you, and take it away.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at lifestyle_mentoring. I have like a purple profile picture. I'm sure I can pop up first, and I will share a lot of gym content, gym advice, and generally help people get in shape. So yeah, if that interests you, then definitely check me out.
And there you go, guys. I mean, the fitness guru has spoken. I mean, just listen to guys. We literally put our hearts, especially Matt, into giving you so much value. And you, if you're, I don't know what you're doing, if you're just, sipping coffee in your bathroom or whatever you are, and if you're an entrepreneur, if you're really working hard, just take these tips. I hope we were able to give you some beneficial tips. And please be careful while you're doing these things. And Matt, thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. And yeah, so we're definitely doing this again. I'm sure if you're interested, don't worry, I'm not gonna force you, but you know what, I'm gonna. And you know what, thank you again so much for giving all these, so much useful tips. I mean, someone like this told all this to me when, at least a year ago or 2 years ago when I was a total mess. And yeah, so I guess thanks again. And please, guys, please be wise in working out and please do not stop working out. Find a way. You can always find a way. You can turn your living room into a gym or your office chair into a prop or your commute into a workout. You can do all of that or just grab a friend or a colleague or just go for a walk. Even those count. Okay. So it's the little things do count. Okay. And don't forget to remember that, simple works just fine. So thank you so much for this, and we'll see you soon in the next episode, guys.